What is up? Welcome to the Existential Stoic podcast. Do you find that you're miserable all the time? Are you stressed, depressed? Do you wish you were happier or you want more joy in your life? Today in luck, we're going to talk about how to be joyful. I'm Danny, and my buddy Randy. What's up, Randy?
Yeah, Danny.
Do you ever struggle with being joyful?
All the time. Like I think miserable is like my default mode. It's literally from the moment I wake up in the morning. It's like miserable is my default mode, and it's always a struggle to even just get to neutral.
Yeah, it is weird, isn't it? It's like we all want to be at that like high, like really happy, just feeling good about everything, about life, about our choices, about what things mean. I think that's why there's just too many things to worry about.
Mhm.
There's too much it's stacked on top sometimes that it's hard to feel happy. I guess maybe that's it.
Yeah, but it's also
Who knows?
something, it's one of these feelings that we aspire to, like love, joy,
Yeah.
some other things. It's one of these things that everybody
It's probably
wants in
another
some
one.
fashion. Yeah, I mean, everybody, whatever people want, usually it's because they want to be happy. Like
Yeah,
happy is a good feeling. Yeah.
it is a good feeling. So hopefully we can help you out today. We each have some tips on how to be joyful. I'm gonna start into my week. My first one is actually just get perspective because I think this is really important. It's helped me a lot, which is like, and it's so true. Most of the things that we stress about, worry about, that we get worked up over, they're really not that important. We just make them out to be way more important than they are, or we're choosing to focus on them. And really, it just takes getting perspective, looking like outside of yourself, talking to somebody, maybe, taking a breath, leaving the situation, calming down. Because I think often for me, at least, it's like my emotions get high. And then that's when, like, I get really worked up or upset. And usually if I walk away from it, like I kind of see it differently later. So,
That's a great one. I actually heard something this week where someone was saying, I think it was Joe Rogan's. I don't know because it was just on this like motivation compilation thing, but it sounded like his voice. Someone was saying that, a lot of us put ourselves under too much pressure. And most of that just comes from lack of perspective. And at least what I heard from that is like, I'm thinking I'm too gosh darn important. Like 100 years from now, I'm freaking dead. Like,
yeah.
regardless, the world's going to go on. All these things that I think are super important, these things that I know I need to do, and all this, the world's going to go on. And I cause myself so much pressure just just because of a lack of perspective.
Well, it's like everybody's been in this situation where they're like, well, if I'm not there, it's gonna fall apart, or I don't get this done, and you act like it's like literally life and death, or that the whole world depends on you. And the reality is it doesn't, not at all. And like you just need perspective.
So I guess I'll start. I guess I'll share with one
Right.
of mine. Yeah, that was a good one.
Your first one.
I know, I know, I know. I just lost consciousness there for a minute.
It's all right.
Uh, so
It
my
happens.
first one for how to be joyful is gratitude. So this is important, like the attitude of
Nice.
gratitude because it rhymes. And it's really like getting in the habit of being grateful, learning to see stuff that you can be grateful for because the more you can see it, the more you recognize there is stuff to be grateful for. Because I think part of joy comes from enjoying what is. And if you're not able to see what is by not practicing gratitude, then you're just going to be missing out on all of it.
Yeah, no, that's like a super important one, I think, because if you don't take the time to actually like express thanks or like actually be grateful for what you have, you're never gonna realize it. And you just end up taking everything for granted. And I think that's a really good one. And like you said, if you don't actually see it, you can't experience it. You won't experience the joy if you can't see the joy in front of you, or the pleasant things. I like that one. That goes really nice with my second one too, actually, which is I had celebrate the good and the beautiful. And I kind of meant this first in the sense of like gratitude also, but also just not taking anything for granted and actually giving yourself a chance to like acknowledge and like be excited about things that are good or that bring you happiness. Like actually, like we talked about so many times where like you do something, you reach a goal, and then you just move on to the next thing because you're stressed out or whatever. And you feel like you have to keep going. You have to have that motivation. Well, take a break and actually celebrate that you got there, or like celebrate the relationships that you have that really are good, or take essentially like celebrate what's valuable in your life instead of just taking it all for granted and seeing it all as the same.
That's a good one. I was listening to this thing today. It was talking about celebrating partial victories, kind of like what you're talking about there. And so, like back in
I
the
like that.
Bible, we were talking about the Bible last week, but back in the Bible, when God created the world, and again, we're not saying that this actually happened, but in
Did he
the Bible,
celebrate each day?
well, so yeah, so like
Woo! Yeah,
after
he
the
did.
first day, and I don't know, there was maybe there wasn't even light. Maybe there was. I
There
don't
was
think there was light the first day. But anyway, after the first day, he's like, "This is good." After the second day, this is good. After the third day, this is good. Five, six, seven, or five, six, seven, good. And then when it was finally done, he said, "Then he's like, it's very good." But he was celebrating the whole way.
yeah, yeah, it's
Mhm.
a good point, right? It's like actually acknowledging what you're doing
And if
instead of
he
because I
did
think
it,
that's
I
yeah,
mean, if
right.
he did it, right?
If God needs this motivational reminders in his day so he feels happy with himself, yeah, or G or whatever. But it's funny because like it is important though. I think you're at least like reminding yourself you're doing something that's valuable instead of just getting caught up in
Yeah.
it.
All right. So my next one is choose to be happy. It really is a choice. Like you can be happy. Abe Lincoln said people are usually about as happy as they make up their minds to be. And that's pretty true because I have a billion reasons to be miserable. But I also have a very good number of reasons to be happy. And it's up to me which ones I want to choose because I can either go with the happy ones or I can go with the other ones. So, totally up to you.
I know. I think too. With that, I think it's super important. Like we have the ability to choose, and I think like you also have to make choices about like happiness or not. Like if you choose to watch the news all the time and it makes you stressed out and angry, well, then you're choosing to be angry. If you choose to be on social media all the time and that makes you stressed out and frustrated because you don't have the lives everybody else has, you're choosing that, right? So it's like also recognizing what choices you're making and whether they're contributing to your positivity or negativity. I think that's a really good one.
Mm.
It's like crucial. My last one is just schedule time for yourself too. And this kind of goes with all the other ones we've been talking about, but like, you know, I know myself and I also know so many other people who like used to have hobbies, used to like going outside, used to like exercising and stuff, and then they life catches up and they feel like they have no time and everything else is too important. It's like, well, make time. Schedule time for yourself. Make like literally put it on your schedule. Like this half hour is for me. I can do whatever I want and enjoy that time and just for yourself with nobody else and like be with yourself. It's a good way to kind of reflect and it's a good way to kind of just also reset.
Yeah, that one is definitely understated. Like taking a half an hour to spend with yourself. And it's not like a half an hour to sit on the couch and scroll through Instagram because that is not by
Yeah.
yourself.
Yeah.
Like you literally are just involved in other people's lives, watching the highlights of their life and being like, my life sucks. But it's actually like doing something that you enjoy and spending time with yourself because it's so rare to actually take that time in the day and do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a
It's
great
kind of
one.
crazy that it is though, but it is. Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah, so my last one for how to be joyful is the Marcus Aurelius Four, as I like to call it. He says, let go of the past, have faith in the future, love what is, and act right. And this is like my cheat code. Whenever I'm feeling like garbage, this is something that I just do because it's almost like an instantaneous reset. I let go of the past. I'm like, whatever happened, happened. I have faith in the future, being like things will work out all right in the future. I don't need to worry about that anymore. I look around me and I just love what is right here. And then I don't even bother acting right. I just do the first three. And, and that's it.
It's way easier.
Yeah.
That's funny. No, it is such a good one too, though, because I think it is. We're so caught up in the past, especially the past future thing. Like that's, I think, we're not like probably 99% of us. That's why we're not happy because we're not living in the moment. We're not actually present, and we're just
Guaranteed. Every
sucks.
time I'm miserable is because of something in the past or in the future. I'm either like I want to change something in the past or I'm trying to control something in the future that's not here right now. So like that's one of the
Right?
two things that's causing me
You're
pain.
regretting something, or you think something's not going to work out, or something that whatever. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So there you have it, then, right? How
There
to
you
be
have it.
joyful. Hopefully these help you guys, find some joy in your life. We'll be back later with a full length episode later this week. Please check us out on YouTube. Subscribe, like, share, listen wherever you get your podcasts. Until then, though, later, Andy.
Later, Danny.